Hi, everyone. I just finished writing a new journal, Journal 90. I'll read it now. Unless you're working on your own writing project, it could be some other creative, it could be like a screenplay, it could be music, it could be something like that. If not, if this isn't something you do with your own life, go ahead and skip this one. It won't make any sense to you. For everyone else, this is my bishop of the day. That'll make sense to anyone watching when I'm halfway through the journal. Let's read it. Journal 90, Saturday, December 7th, 2024, Chasing Bishi, or Daily Writing Achievements. Hi, everyone. My mood is generally determined by my writing. On a bad writing day, normal aromas smell like sulfur and feces, normal music sounds chaotic and screechy, and normal people annoy me, and everything is discouraging. On a good writing day, demon sulfur smells no worse than the wind, leaf blowers sound like that same breeze frisking a tree, and annoying people fascinate me. And I'm practically immune to discouragement. Unfortunately, bad days are more common than good ones. More common than both average writing days. During these, external factors determine my mood. I am much more discerning of environmental scents, ambient sounds, and people's sense sounds and personalities. And the least common of all is the holy writing day. During these, I behave as if possessed by the spirit of a long dead literary deity, and I find it difficult to suppress the glee that insists on dancing in my soul. But I try. I try my hardest to perceive these as average writing days, because I know the danger in indulging them. If I join the dancing and merriment, I will become an addict. My satisfaction receptors will be downregulated such that an average dose of satisfaction from an average day's writing will fail to satisfy. Even good days will begin to reek of demon sulfur, because they can't match the high of that holy triumph 2 weeks ago, and then 3 weeks ago, and then a month ago. Eventually, it's been a year since I last experienced happiness. At that point, the atrophy to my literary pleasure centers will be so extensive, I can never be made whole again. So, when the deities visit, I decline their invitation to dance. Instead, I celebrate the little successes, like pawns, knights, and bishops. A pawn is an idea. I've phrased it poorly, but it has great potential. With some hard labor, I could turn it into a rook, maybe even a queen, but today it's just an idea. A knight is a brief passage that can be written to completion in 5 or 6 minutes, 5 or 6 intense minutes. Once the idea arises, my thoughts go racing ahead. Keeping up is strenuous. It feels like running a hard mile. But when I cross the finish line, there will be 200 or 300 words with a beginning, middle, and end. And it contains something insightful, something unexpected, nothing old or borrowed, and it is matrimonially complete. Any revision would ruin it. The revisionist's piece is the bishop. If I have 500 or 600 roughly written words scrawled upon a pawn or two, and I revise those words round after round of polishing until they're as bright as I can make them, I'll have earned a bishop. That's achievable with discipline alone. Capturing a rook requires the same discipline as a bishop, but also the inspiration of a knight. That's harder and rarer. And the queen, that's even harder and much rarer. It involves the ideation and revision of a several-page scene in my book, which is foundational to the 5-king, i.e. 5-book, story arc. I only capture a queen once or twice a year. Every day, my goal is to advance my board position as much as I can, and every morning it resets. But my history of games is permanently logged in the progress of my book. Years ago, I only cared whether I won the game. Queen by herself was sufficient to accomplish that end. So was a rook, a couple of knights, and some pawns. That would do it too. But each of those involves inspiration. And inspiration is unreliable, I've learned. The bishop, or plural, Bishi, is the only piece that can be claimed by discipline alone, and discipline is the path to completion. So these days, I've become a hunter of Bishi. All right, that's it. Yeah, again, like after I've read, again, if you don't have some creative project that you've been working on for years, this makes no sense to you. But if like day after day, year after year, you have been assigning all of your attention, your sort of serviceable energy into the some creative endeavor, this probably registers. You understand what I'm talking about, the temptation, right, to stalk the queens, to sort of hunt the most spectacular game. That probably makes sense to you. But it's not the way to finish, right? I mean, it helps. Like, so in books, I mean, there's many scenes in book one, but books 2 and 3 and 4 and some big ones in book 5. I got some queens, right? I bagged some like 20-point bucks. And I after that, I mean, the whole ending of the book is just like a couple of queens. And when I write one of those scenes, I spend the rest of the day just like bathing in the dopamine of my achievement and to great satisfaction. And then I wake up the next morning, the board resets, and I have like post-party syndrome, and book 1 is no closer to being on anyone's shelf. And I realized through that sort of failure of a kind that discipline and bishops, right, those bishi, that's really, I started prioritizing and really valuing, not above all else, but in a relative sense, really valuing the bishi. And again, that won't make any sense to you unless you too have a creative project that you've been pouring your heart into for years. But that's it. I hope if you do have a creative project, I hope you just bag in queens, like left and right, in a figurative sense, in whatever that creative project is, but also that you have like the bishi is like little dominoes, and every day you're making progress on those toward the end. And if none of this makes any sense to you, I hope you have a good day for some other reason that does make sense. Okay, I'll see you next time.